Hi everyone, we're going to be doing this clock from the Wonder Room today in Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. I have had a request for colouring this one, so I thought it would be fun to have a go and see how we go. Now I'm thinking that the Cuckoo clock might be brown, wood, but we've got this sort of leaf detail on the top. Not sure whether that would be wood as well or not, but I think I would do it. Haha, excuse the pun. I will do it as a wooden background. I'm just putting a book under my page because it's on the left hand side of the page. There's nothing, and there's not much book under here. There's not much to lean on. So I popped a little book under there to help me to raise it a little bit, so I've got something to lean on when I colour. That book isn't actually high enough. Add another one as well. There, that's better. Now I can colour. The page is flat, so that's better. Now I just straighten it a little bit. Oh, I think I made it more wonky. Oh, that way. There we go. It's very hard to look in the camera and straighten it, get it the wrong way. Okay, so browns for the clock. I'm going to start with this one, which is the Bistra. It's very short. It's no good me showing you it. You can't see. But I'm going to do a layer all over. So there's nothing technical here, apart from the fact that I'm going to press quite lightly. Now to get a nice light, even texture, the easiest bit to do is to hold the pencil away from the nib, lower down on its side. Now obviously this pencil is too small. I can't hold it any further down or else I'll drop it. So I've just got to go with the best that I can do. And I am happy with the application. It's not too heavy. I am quite heavy-handed though. I'm just trying to think here. Is there a gap there? I think so. I'm going to do that as a gap. But the reason I'm colouring it all in first is that it helps me to have a look at what's going on, what's going to be in front and behind, and what actually needs to be wood. If you don't do this, well, if I don't do this, I get a little bit confused. But you know, you may not. That's just me. So once I've coloured it in, I will think about where we go next, really. It's very easy to just colour it in. Colour it in like this and then leave it and make that do. Of course, there's nothing wrong with that at all. But if you want to get a more three-dimensional looking clock, then you will need to add a few more layers of different browns and things to get that effect. It all depends what you're looking for. If you're just looking for a nice relaxing session, just colour away and it doesn't matter. But goodness, those footsteps are loud. My husband is going down for lunch, but working from home today, so hopefully he won't come in and disturb me. No, I did warn him that I was going to be recording. I also shut the door of the room, which I never normally do, so it's a sort of warning that stay away. I haven't decided whether to do those leaves a different colour. I think I will, just because it will make it more interesting. And the centre of the clock face as well, I do a little bit differently. I can hear him getting a pan out when I've made him a salad that's in the fridge. Never mind. Okay, now I'm going to grab my dark sepia and I'm going to mark out on here the areas I think are darker. Now I feel that this pillar and this pillar are near the front and other things are slightly behind. I think this is really set back, so I'm going to actually colour that really quite dark. But the little piece, this piece is not, this piece is in front, and the teardrop shaped piece I think is like embossed, so that needs to slightly stand out. So that's darker, and I'm going to really emphasize that on the edges, which I hope will make it sit back as you look at it. That's my idea. Anyway. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I think that's okay. Sorry it's a little bit small, but I can't show you the whole thing if I zoom in anymore. I want a line along here to show that this post is in front, in the same way that we did that with the pieces further down, like that, and along here. But I also think there will be some shadow here, partly because Johanna's drawn us these lines. So I'm just sort of colouring over those, putting a deeper shadow right against that edge, and then fading it down through those lines. I'll do the same here, look, where I've got the lines at the bottom. So a harder application, and then sort of fade that up a little bit. Now let's have a look, where are we going to go from here? I think this bit is all connected, so I think that's going to stand out. I think there'll be some shadow under here. I also think these would be darker on the edge than they are further in. The same here. And under here, look, I think this sort of fancy bit would be in front of this piece. There might be a bit of shadow under there, and there, actually all the way across. I think this, under these, so I'm sort of going over the black and just extending that down a bit to try and make that look like it's a carved pattern. And then under here, look, let's try and make that look like it's an embossed piece. And I do think I need to put a little bit here, and here, and under this bit. I'm not sure what's supposed to be going on with this, but I'm going to emphasise those lines. Like that. Put a little bit of shade under here too, and underneath the clock face. And I'm going to go back in with my burnt umber and re-emphasise some areas a little bit more. So I'm just extending that darker shade a little bit more, but not in such a harsh, dark colour. So I hope you can just see what I'm doing really. Up here, so I think there might be some shade here from this, some shadow. Bring that out a little bit. Bring out this shadow too, underneath there. It's not what I've missed a bit. I'm just doing that because I missed it the first time. And just darkening this because it's a little bit further, supposed to be further back, so it'd be a little bit darker. So just putting an extra layer on really. Just doing that there, like we did on the other side, extending this bit, and a bit of shadow there. Yeah, I think that's given it a bit more definition. And now we're going to do the clock face. this outside round piece I quite like to do in gold. So I'm going to use this dark pencil and press quite hard to put a little dark brown layer there and there. Then I'm going to grab a much lighter brown. I'm going to use the brown ochre and do a little bit either side, going over that dark bit. Then the, what's this, the light yellow ochre, take it round a little bit more. I'm still going over all of the bits that I've done already. The idea is that hopefully it will blend together. And one last one, which I'm going to use this one, which is the Naples Yellow. You'll have to believe me. Well, it has got the number on it actually. And take that round, leaving a little white bit, which hopefully gives the impression it's a little bit shiny. Now we have to do the back. I'm just going to use the light yellow ochre to do this bit in the middle. So I'm putting a lot more at the bottom, leaving a white at the top, and the hand. Okay, and now we need to think about the face itself and the leaves. I'm thinking if we're going to do the leaves in a green, which I think we will, then maybe the face should be green as well, just so it ties together. So I'm going to start the leaves with this green. Just grab my sharpener. It is a darkish green. It is the Chromium green opaque, and I'm going to do all the bits where the leaves overlap in this and then fade it up the leaf. So get right into that bit where it overlaps, go over the black line if you want to. Get lots of colour on that bit and then spread it up gently towards the tip of the leaf. This bit is quite fancy, it's all joined together, so I think we do need to do it here though. A little bit there, a bit there still. Maybe more on these because that one is sort of in the foreground. Oh, I could do with a cup of tea. I have got one sitting beside me. Okay, and then I'm going to do a lighter green, and I'm going to use this lighter green for the clock face. This is the earth green yellowish. Basically I'm going to go over the edge of that green and bring it all the way to the end of the leaf. Let's see. Now for the clock face, I'm thinking as I am doing this colouring that we need to think about the fact that there's a shine from that metal, from the gold, so we reflect that as well in the colour of the face. So this is darker than this, so I'm going to start off with a much darker application across the middle of the clock face like that, and then I'm going to gently fade it as I come down towards there. So I'm putting less layers as I go down towards that. I'm not going to leave any white, but I'm just going to just copy that pattern of shading really. Just gently reduce the amount of layers and the pressure as you come towards that bit. There isn't quite enough there for my liking. A little bit more. But as long as there's some definition between the darker and lighter areas, you could use a bit of that darker green. I don't really want to go that dark. And these little teardrop shapes above here, you're quite far away, you can't necessarily see. I'm going to do those in the green colour as well. Then we have this little bit. Now this is a hole in the clock with the cuckoo inside, so I'm going to use my dark sepia to fill in this space. Now a cuckoo can often be brown. He's on a branch which is just disappearing. Perhaps that's okay. Yeah, a cuckoo can often be brown. I'm made of the same wood as the clock. So I'm going to grab the burnt umber and do him in that, but just gently, so that he doesn't disappear into the background. So that's the cuckoo, and we need to do these little bits at the bottom of the clock. Now I think these might be gold, like this piece around the face. So I'm going to use some of the colours I used for my gold, but not all of them, because it's a smaller space, a little bit tricky. Firstly, for the bits hanging down here, I'm just going to use this colour on its own, the light yellow ochre. It's quite a nice goldish tone, and there just isn't space to put in any other colours. And I'm going to do that for this, which is, I guess, the pendulum. And then these are the weights, aren't they? Now this pendulum has a pattern, but I'm going to do it as if it was solid because it's easier. So I'm going to do it, use the same colours as I did for this. So we've got the burnt umber first, and I'm going to put a darker layer across like that. And for these, I'm just going to put a touch, oops, on each edge. They're quite small, so it's going to be a bit tricky, especially with my inaccuracy in colouring. Then we have this one, which was the brown ochre. So it's just about extending that area a little bit more to start to bring in some shading. Then we go back in with the light yellow ochre, which we were using for these pieces. Now we're running out of space here. Try to leave a bit of white still if you can, enough space for a little bit more colour. As I say, it's quite tricky, but we're going to end with this one, which was the Naples Yellow. I'm just going to put a little bit in here and there, making sure I still leave some white to give the impression of shine. These don't look brilliant. There is a big gap between where the brown ends and the yellow starts. I'm going to try and just soften that very slightly by putting a little bit more on. There we go. Yep, there's our clock. So I'm going to leave that there. Let me just zoom out actually a little bit so you can see the whole clock in shot. Let's just move the book. There we go. So that's our cuckoo clock. So I hope that was okay for you. I'm not sure I'm very much liking that pea green colour on the face now it's done, but it does work with the leaves. So maybe it will work. Once the background's in, maybe that will help. I don't know. But anyway, there we go. There's our clock. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it and hope it was helpful, and happy colouring.